Good evening to one and all. My name is Anna George and I'm currently studying in class 11th. The topic given to me is a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, if we're talking about this quote, this situation itself would be the perfect example. We've all been subjected to a sudden change in our routine, our timetable, and we've all had to adapt and overcome this challenge. The hardest part was taking the first step towards adapting, and I think that applies to almost all situations. For example, starting when a baby learns how to walk. Only when the baby starts taking its first step will it be able to walk and then slowly run. Only after taking that first step will it be able to do any of those things. The same applies to any school project or assignment. The hardest part is starting. But once you've started, you get into that flow, a state where you have that motivation and energy to continue working and you are able to do what you set out to do. But the hardest part is taking that first step. Maybe you are on your phone, on your laptop, on the TV, and you just don't want to start, but just tell yourself, 5 minutes and that's it. And then you'll sit down, start. Maybe you'll end up going for way more than 5 minutes. Just because you started, you were able to go further than you expected yourself to. And that's how you have to tackle life. You have to start. Don't think too much about it.
No, Mom, that's not my arena. I am not going to the Gavels Club. This is what I desperately told my mom on 6th October 2016 in the car when she and my dad were taking me to TCA Qatar to join the Qatar Malayalam Gavels Club. I felt that public speaking was not my arena, but I did not have an option. It was a command from Her Majesty, my mother. I entered TCA Qatar with a frown on my face, frightened what is going to happen to me. The president introduced me, asked my introduction, but I didn't have any words. I felt that my palms were sweaty. My heart started speeding. But there were butterflies in my stomach. I started getting tensed. But I had no option. I had to speak. I somehow managed to give my introduction and sat down on my place. Then came the part that sets butterflies in each and everyone's stomach, the table topic session, where I, being the guest, was invited to speak. Me, being scared and having stage fear, couldn't speak a single word. That day, when I went down from the stage, I realized how a bad public speaker I was. I took it up as a challenge that I am going to make public speaking my arena. I'm going to show it to my mom. There was my gavel counselor, Aparna ma'am, who helped me from the starting. She told me which was right for me. She took me from the least to the greatest. From that time, through small steps, I started taking up challenges in public speaking. Today, I won the jam contest in school, getting the first prize in my entire standard. I got a prize for both of the book reviews and that too in QMGC. All this was not possible without Aparna ma'am, the Gavels Club and my mom. Hence, I strongly believe a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Toastmasters and my dear friends, a very pleasant evening to all. First of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Aisha Fatima and I am a 4th grader at MES Indian School. So, as we all know, we are here for the table topic contest on the topic a journey for 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that is true. A step forward is always the beginning, whether the journey is long or short. We always start the journey with a small step. So many people hesitate to take that step. If you didn't want to go forward, then only you stay at home. I'm told this is a phrase used to motivate the people to move forward. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Noreen. To move forward, we need to have some steps, and we should think and do the right steps. So today, I am going to talk about my steps which I took, which are miles away. So first, I went with my sisters to Gavel's Club. So I wanted to do something there, not simply sit there. So when there was table topics, I raised my hands and went to the stage. And I got a simple topic, which was, what is your favorite food? But still, it was my first step, even though it is easy. I told speech about it, and then I won prize. And then, the next time, I took a big step. I joined Gavel's Club and then did ice-breaking speech. It was hard, though I needed to practice very much. It was not P1, but still, I'm sure I'll do P2 and P3 and P4 and all. So, in the third step, I did table topics again. It was a hard topic. I did it, even though. And then, don't think I got the prize that time also. I didn't. But still, I'm gonna try again. Failure leads to winning. So, I wish I'll go to concert and all. So, I'm sure you will also go. So, I want to thank my sisters to give me that opportunity. If they weren't there, then I couldn't come this much big, at least. So, that's all. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Anushka Anish. The topic for today is a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. This quote makes me remember of a tiny saying that my mother used to say. Little drops of water and little drops of rain makes a mighty ocean. I understand this quote as every big goal that we have is completed by us having tiny steps towards it. For example, we can take the Narayana Murthy, the founder of the Infosys. He was an employee of Tata, TC, but now he's equally as big as him. For me, Toastmaster itself is one of my steps for it to succeed my bigger goal. Toastmaster, every small thing that I had passed, like me being a timer, P1, and everything made me feel more closer to my goal. This quote, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, is something that all of us can use in our lives. As for me, my bigger goal has all sorts of little steps. I've started taking it now, but you could have taken it earlier too. Not only that, for other children, for smaller children, we can implement this as what I have said before. Little drops of water and little drops of rain makes a big ocean. Thank you.
My name is Srihari. Today's table topic is a journey to 1,000 miles begins from a step. I had a life experience to share with you. This life experience is about when I joined karate. So at first, I did not have any confidence to join karate because it's all about fighting and defending.
So my father encouraged me. He said that this is a defensive martial arts for protecting yourself. So he encouraged me to join in karate. I joined and I had got a lot of medals. I started from white, then yellow, then green, then blue, etc. etc. Between these all times, there was very hard time for me to improve. And I think this life experience compared to the table topic of the day. Thank you.
Respected judges and my dear friends, a very warm good evening to you all. I, Venus Trinith, is here to speak on the topic, A Journey of 1,000 Miles Begins with a Single Step. What this actually means is that to go through 1,000 miles to reach your destination, it actually begins with a small single step. I would like to explain this further by taking the example of my father's endeavor to build a huge, enormous house back in my home country, India. Our house's name is Vintage. My father had this inspiration of building this house from his elder brother Ranesh, who had already builded his house and housewarming was over. My father really wanted to build a house, and he wanted all of us to stay as a big family together inside it. I could see the progress day by day, year by year. And finally, within 3 years of his sweat from his brow, he finally made a house for all of us to live in. This Vintage was first laid by its sand base, and later on I could see the bricks moving up day by day and year by year. So this is what I mean, dear friends. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeffin Vergis, and the topic given to me is A Journey of 1,000 Miles Begins with a Single Step. I have been used to hearing this thought a lot of times from my sister and my parents. When I had done my P1 speech, not that so good, they came and comforted me, telling me this step. The single step you may take will be a failure, but when you take all the steps of this failing, you will reach your destination called success. You have to correct your mistakes and learn them, and you will reach your destination called success. APJ Abdul Kalam failed many times when he launched the rocket into space. And people criticized him. He learned from his mistakes and corrected them, and he reached the destination called success. So let me tell all of you so that every single step you take will lead you to success. Thank you.
Masters Gavaliers and guests, I'm Gavalier Iman. I'm sent to speak on the topic, A Journey of 1,000 Miles starts from a small step. So basically it is life, and that's what I think. For example, a student starts his journey of 1,000 miles from his small age. He starts it from learning letters, and then when he grows up, he starts learning how to read, and then he goes to college, becomes a doctorate, and then becomes a scholar maybe, and then he marries and gets a nice job. So, think of it, Gavaliers. He started his life from the letter A, which was a journey of 1,000 miles. So, this is life. Thank you.
Cavaliers, I am Zaim, and I'm going to tell you about what a journey of 1,000 miles that begins with a single step is like to me. So, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with your birth, and the end of your journey is your death. It's just like a glass getting one drop, which is your birth, then keep on getting those drops until it becomes full. And when it starts to overflow, that's the time of your death. And the water becomes black and nice for every good and bad thing you do. So, my friends, what I'm telling you is that if you do the most good things, your water will be the best and cleanest water you will ever see. If you do black and bad things, your water will be the blackest water you have ever seen. Thank you.
To one and all, this is me, Minha Sarik, standing for you to speak about a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This is a common proverb that we have heard from our childhood. What this means is that small little things that we do can lead or can make us successful. When we look at the history, it is the small things that people do that ends up in great success. If we look at the examples of many great thinkers, philosophers, freedom fighters, they are not successful from the beginning. They have tried and tried, but the first thing that they have done is keeping a step. That step is the foundation of what leads to your success. The author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, she has begun with a small thing, but now she is a worldwide famous author. Similarly, there are many philosophers, thinkers that we know who have been successful, but they have started from a small step. This is what this means, and this is a common proverb to all our children, and it is a very meaningful one, and I think it is good to apply this in our day-to-day life. Thank you.